someone going to come up? Okay. We have two people online tonight, Councilman Lawson and Vice Chair Tabernick.
Tim came earlier, Tim came earlier to make the announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the caucus for March 23rd to order. Please rise for this Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting was advertised in compliance with FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second, Madam Chairman.
Do we have any?
Madam Chairman, if you permit, I'd like to offer an amendment to the motion to add to the agenda. I move to amend the agenda to add a new executive session items as 6E under South Carolina Code Section 30-4-770A2, legal advice related to discussion of negotiation indicated to propose amendments to contractual arrangements, and this is for the Justin Square property in Beaufort.
I have a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Some events have come up, and I think it behooves us to listen to it, assess it, and decide whether we want to move forward with that proposal.
Okay, so we had the first motion to approve the agenda and then an amendment. We vote on the amendment at this time. All in favor of the amendment by show of hands? And Ms. Tabernick, did you vote? You're all opposed? One opposed. You got that? Okay. All right. So it passes. Now we have vote on the agenda as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor by show of hands to the agenda. All opposed? All right. We have one opposed. Okay. So at this time we will go. What?
That was just the approval of the
That's the
agenda.
approval of the agenda. All right.
Now you have to vote on the agenda as.
We did both.
We did.
We did both.
We did.
They voted on it.
We did
just
both.
Yeah. So now we.
But we
Yeah, I'll
haven't
read through.
called- Yeah, we haven't called the vote for the executive session yet. That was just the approval of
Yeah.
the agenda
All right.
as amended.
At this time, I'd like to read through the items for executive session.
Did you had 5 here for council member discussion?
We don't, unless there's somebody has some council member discussion at this time. None? Okay. All right. Besides the yes,
Yeah,
thank
okay.
you. Under executive session, A is under South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where legal advice relates to pending litigation. Settlement offers for 6 remain defendants in the national opioid litigation. B, under South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, legal advice relating to discussion of negotiations incident to pending litigation or other matters covered by attorney-client privilege. Lisa Lynch versus Beaufort County litigation. C, under South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements and proposed sale of the purchase of property, relocation of St. James Church on Hilton Head Island. D, under South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to pending litigation. This is outside legal counsel. And then E, that was just added under Section South Carolina Code 30-40-70A2, legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to proposed amendments to contractual arrangements. Justice Square Properties in Beaufort. Do I have a motion to go in executive session?
So moved.
Second. I think the second was,
For Dawson.
okay, got that. Any Any further discussion? All in favor of going into executive session by sign of hands? And that is, did you vote, Mr. York?
Oh, did-
Councilman York? That is unanimous.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
may be matters arising out of executive session, and we will go into the other room. ECR. some items to come out of executive session, if everyone can take a seat.
Everybody else who will now step in because we'll put up money. That's the key.
What is your proposal?
The proposal is that we do option 4.
Right.
Donors there, other investors.
Okay, we're missing one council member. Paula, as soon as she's back in, we'll start from the two things from executive session. We have motions. Yes.
Mr. Lawson is, Vice Chair Tabernick is not, because I think she thought we were taking a break.
Okay, so, but Councilman Lawson is on? Okay. All right, we had two motions to come out of executive session. The first one that we'll take up has to do with A, that's the legal notice relates to pending litigation, settlement offers for 6 remnant defendants in the national opioid litigation. I think we have a motion on that.
I have that? Okay.
McKellen?
Yep. In the matter of Beaufort County versus the 6 remnant defendants in the opioid litigation, I move that council authorize the county administrator to execute the settlement agreement and all related participation forms and documents related to the 6 remaining pharmaceutical drug manufacturing corporations in the opioid litigation. Those are Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Company, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company, Morrison Dickerson, North Carolina Wholesale Drug Company, and UNFI SuperValue, as discussed in executive session.
We have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Joe Passamit. Any discussion? No? Seeing none, all in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Another motion we have is for number E, which was the legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to propose amendments to contractual agreements for Justice Square properties in Beaufort. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I will make that motion. I move that council authorize the county administrator to negotiate terms related to a second amendment to the purchase-sale agreement with Justice Square Associates for the PSA for the King Street and Wilmington Street properties dated February 16th, 2024, and the amendment dated December 17th, 2024, and that the negotiations authorize the administrator to approve the assignment of the PSA from Justice Square Associates to Mr. Dick Stewart if satisfactory terms are agreed upon.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
A second by Councilman Bartholomew. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor by show of hands? And that is unanimous. There are no other matters out of executive session, and we are adjourned from caucus, and the regular meeting will start at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the March 23rd meeting of Beaufort County Council to order. Please rise. Councilman Tom Rentz will do the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to be together to do the work, to work with the people and do the work of the people. May everything we do this evening glorify your Holy Son. In his name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to confirm, if people in the back want to come forward to have a seat, there's some seats up front. Confirm with Ms. Brock that this has been advertised in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act.
Yes, ma'am, it has.
Okay, all right. I'd like to have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I heard the second from Councilman Dawson.
Discussion? On that, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add a discussion item for us to discuss going forward, the hiring of a professional organization to assist us with materials relating to both the education and the advocacy of the infrastructure referendum that's scheduled for the ballot, tentatively scheduled for the ballot in November.
Okay.
I'll second that.
And we have a second by David Bartholomew. Any discussion of the amendment?
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, sir.
I heard about this prior to coming here, and I think it's a good idea. The only question I have is I heard someone say that Jasper County used someone in the same fashion, and they didn't have to hire them. That was sort of done in concert with what they're doing. Does anybody know about that? Or have we reached out to Jasper?
They in fact did hire them, and the firm they used was able to leverage other donors so that Jasper County did not spend an exorbitant amount of money.
Hey,
Okay, any other discussion?
well, the only thing I say to that is let's look into that as well. I mean, they were not only, I don't think any cost to them, but I thought they were successful there with what they wanted to do. So again, I hope we look into that.
Tom, during the discussion, if it gets on the agenda and a motion, that'll
Then
be
we
one
can,
of the
then we
items.
can discuss
Okay, yeah,
that
thank
more.
you, thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. All right, all in favor of that, yes, you want to,
No, I'm ready to vote on the motion.
you ready to vote? All right.
Madam Chair, before you call that vote, where would that be placed on the agenda?
Yeah, that's a good, my question.
I would like to see it as 10B.
And B?
And B,
Is that agenda? Okay.
not consent, but before.
That's a consent agenda.
That's a consent.
Right.
At the end of the
Sorry,
consent
11B.
agenda before the.
Yeah,
tax item.
11B would be all right.
Yeah.
11B?
I know what you're saying. We got it.
11B, Mr. McKellen?
That'd be fine.
11B, all right, it will be 11B then. Any other discussion? All in favor of the amendment by show of hands? Anyone? And that was unanimous. And we do have two council members online on Zoom, Councilman Lawson and Vice Chairman Tabernick. All right, going back to the approval of the agenda with the amendment. We already had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And that is unanimous, okay. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes. These are from the March 9th meeting, caucus, and county council meeting. All right, Councilman Dawson,
I'll second that.
and a second by Councilman Brown. Any discussion or changes? Seeing none, all in favor, by show of hands? And that is unanimous to approve the minutes. Next, we have a proclamation, which will be done by Councilmember David Bartholomew, recognizing March as Disabilities Awareness Month. And do we have someone here to accept it? I think we do. Come on up.
See here. You can stand right here if you want. Whereas more than 500,000 South Carolina residents and families are impacted by severe lifelong disabilities, including autism, traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injuries, and intellectual related disability. without regard to color, culture, geography, age, or economic class. And whereas people with lifelong disabilities are productive citizens, neighbors, and family members, deserving of respect and opportunity for economic self-sufficiency, independence, and personal growth. And whereas we recognize with heartfelt gratitude and appreciation the caregivers who selflessly provide physical and emotional support to Beaufort County's residents with disabilities and special needs. And whereas the 2026 observance of Disabilities Awareness Month celebrates the successful partnership between people with disabilities and without, as well as the increasing involvement of people with disabilities in education, employment, and community activities. Now therefore be it resolved that Beaufort County Council does hereby proclaim March 2026 as Disabilities Awareness Month, dated this 23rd day of March 2026, signed by Chairwoman Alice Howard.
Are there any others? Are there any others that should be in there?
Anybody else? The DSN board members too. Mhm. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all coming tonight too. I think our county probably has one of the best, if not the best, program in the state. DSN.
Second that.
Yes. And I think many of us on council appreciate what they do. Before we have the administrator's report, I was reminded by Councilman McKellen that it's also Women's International Month. Is that right?
Women's International Day is celebrated during the month of March. That's
During the
correct.
month of March, so appreciate that. Okay, I'd like to hear from our administrator at this time.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Council. We have some employee recognitions this evening for longevity. We have two of them. The first we will recognize is Bernard Wallace, grounds maintenance technician with Parks and Recs, and he's been there for 15 years. So. That's all right. So a few achievements and notable contributions. Bernard's been an invaluable asset to the Parks and Recreation team. He works tirelessly each day to ensure that the fields are ready for youth and adult sports and that our parks and recreation facilities convey our pride and the resources of Beaufort County. He's worked 12-hour plus days to support district, state, and national tournaments, including at least one occasion during the Dixie Boys Baseball World Series, where Bernard worked well into the night and early morning hours to help keep the tournament on track. He enjoys being part of his church family and watching the Dallas Cowboys on Sundays. Scattered of remarks there, but we thank Bernard for his contributions to the department and to the county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something, Mr. Bernard? Mr. Walls? Is your wife here?
I recognize my lovely wife for being here with me.
Oh, come on.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed Beaufort County. Over this 15 years, it was family, and I enjoy the work I do as a living.
Well,
So,
the children of Beaufort County, thank you too. Yeah, for all the work you do for Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Rodney Scott, grounds maintenance crew leader with the Public Works grounds maintenance, and he's been with the county for 15 years. So Rodney joined the Beaufort County Public Works Department on March 21st, 2011 as a grounds maintenance technician 2, bring years of landscaping experience to the team. When a crew leader position became available, Rodney applied and was selected for the position. His knowledge and experience continue to help guide and develop current and future employees. We thank Rodney for his commitment and dedication to the Public Works Grounds Maintenance Division, and they do a great job keeping the facilities looking great. So thank you.
Would you like to say something?
Daughter and my sister-in-law.
Oh, thank you.
Well, as you can see out here, this is what we do best. It's green, we keep it going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, I just want to echo what Mr. Scott said. The grounds do look good.
Yes.
They do.
Great team.
Great team.
Okay, next I'll provide an update on our composting program. It's off to an amazing start. In over 2 months, just over 2 months, more than 500 residents have joined the composting program, helping divert over 4,000 pounds of food waste and 3,000 pounds of yard debris, with food waste diversion initiatives now underway in 3 local schools. This early success reflects the great work of our solid waste staff and has earned the program recognition at the U.S. Composting Council Conference in Sacramento. I'd also like to recognize one of our employees. I don't believe she's here this evening, but Victoria Hoffman, our solid waste program manager, recently earned the highly regarded Certified Composting Professional credential from the U.S. Composting Council, has invited to help launch a South Carolina chapter of this national program. So this program is making a huge impact. I just wanted you all to know that.
That's great. Wonderful.
And next, I'll provide an update on the Transportation Advisory Committee, which was referenced earlier. The committee met on Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 at the City of Beaufort and continued their gathering information and prioritizing their list of transportation-related projects for the November referendum. In this case, the purpose of the meeting was to get input from the City of Beaufort on their projects list, and the committee has now heard from all the municipalities and will start compiling project priorities. The school district was also present. Chief Operating Officer Robert Otting gave a brief overview of current capital needs, the challenges facing the school district, and how they're handling the growing population of students, primarily south of the Broad. He also acknowledged a challenge in finding qualified bus drivers. He pointed out delays where there's traffic, which is leading to longer bus riding time for students, in some cases late arrivals to drop off students. So it's important to get school districts' input on this, and we appreciate that. Eric Clausen, the new assistant city manager for the City of Beaufort, gave an update on the number of new apartment complexes and residential homes and impact additional people and traffic will have within the city limits. They also put forth some projects that the city is going to has recommended to the committee. Members of the Transportation Advisory Committee are continuing to listen to their residents' concerns, and they are able to take inputs from residents for traffic-related issues, and then compile that list with special attention being paid to cost and project scope and size, which will then be prioritized and then submitted to County Council for consideration. The next meeting will be a working community meeting on Wednesday, April 1st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. and just booked, thanks to clerk staff and rest of the staff at the Oscar Frazier facility. So that'll be the location on April 1st.
And at 5:30.
Correct, 5:30 to 7:30. So it'll be an evening meeting. So residents are encouraged to come out and speak if they wish. There will be public comment.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all I have this evening, Madam Chair, subject to any questions.
Any questions from County Council?
I don't have any questions, but when Mr. Moore is finished, if I could just have some comments. We mentioned the International Women's Day. I just like to finish up with some comments on the significance of that particular celebration.
Sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you don't have to stand there for it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We mentioned that International Women's Day takes place annually during the month of March. International Women's Day is a global holiday celebrated annually in March. It serves as both a celebration of the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women and a call to action for accelerating gender equality. There were two themes in 2026. The first was a theme that highlights the need to bridge the gap between legal rights and their practical application, emphasizing justice as a critical tool for equality. The second theme was a campaign to encourage a mindset of generosity and collaboration, suggesting that when individuals and organizations give support, whether through time, mentoring, or resources, it multiplies opportunities for women worldwide. The celebration has been in effect since 1909. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, next on our agenda is our public comment period, and we have 10 people signed up. And I would like to remind the public, when you're speaking, each member of the public will address the chairman. Avoid disrespect to the council and any personalities. Confine yourself to the question under consideration or your comments. Council will not reply to any of the comments, and each person will be limited to 3 minutes. All right, so the first person that signed up was Krista Flanders. We come forward.
Thank you, Council, for giving me 3 minutes. My name's Krista Flanders, 2017 Stone Martin Drive, Beaufort. My name's Krista Flanders, raised on Hilton Head, and I will celebrate 11 years sober this summer. As I recover loudly and I'm a resource for those struggling in our county, I see a lot of what the average person doesn't see. Overdose is the #1 cause in death of ages 18 to 45. I do a lot of work nationally, but mostly I do a lot in our county and neighboring counties. 98% of the drugs sold on the streets have lethal doses of illicit fentanyl in them. Times have changed a lot in the last decade, and there's no more experimenting. Experimenting has leading to funerals and grieving families. I've been working on a relationship with Charleston County Chief Deputy Chris Rozier. They've seen a drastic drop in overdoses and relapses. They've seen a 40% reduction in non-fatal overdoses and 28% reduction in fatal overdoses. They've implemented a software called CIMS, C-I-M-S, Critical Incident Management System. It collects, shares, analyzes overdose data. It's a multi-agency collaboration with police and EMS, logs incident details, time, location, substances, and responses, tracks fatal and non-fatal ODs, documents follow-up outreach from home visits to referrals to treatment, and real-time reporting. CIMS also has modules that are included to include behavioral health for tracking mental health as well as at-risk individuals to practically assist the community before a violation is made. It's also sharing information among law enforcement agencies as well as with treatment centers that can provide services for these individuals so they're not incarcerated. It also helps identify hotspots. Getting this information with CIMS can save lives, curb crime, reduce arrests, lower DSS visits, and improve the workforce, but most importantly, give people a second chance at life and create active members of society. It will also help speed up outreaches after an overdose, often 24 to 72 hours. I would be so grateful to be able to put y'all in contact with Charleston County Chief Deputy Chris Rozier to see if this could be a potential opportunity in our county.
Thank you, Ms. Flanders. All right, next on
Alice, could I just respond to that?
well,
It's not directed to her. It's just I want to talk about the opioid litigation that we just talked about in the last executive session. There's been tens of millions of dollars that have been provided to states all over the United States, and this motion that I made today was dealing with another payment of $97 million to states in the United States. We will get a portion of that $97 million, and we're hoping when that money comes this time, as it has in the past, that we will continue to use that money to deal with the issues that you raised in your presentation. So your presentation is timely for sure. It's necessary, and I think that there is some additional funding coming to Beaufort County that will allow us to do the types of things that are occurring up there in Charleston. And it's a good idea to get in touch with that fellow and see what they're doing, so Audra can find out what they're doing and then do it here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Audra's right over here with that department under her. Okay, next is Dr. Tim Pierce.
Madam Chair, my name is Tim Pierce. I'm a retired surgeon, practiced here in Beaufort for 39 years. I am also the chair of the Beaufort Jasper Higher Education Commission. I've been on the commission for 30 years, and I've had a personal opportunity to watch the University of South Carolina Beaufort grow exponentially. That growth was started in many ways by a partnership between the university, the commission, and the Beaufort County Council back in the 1990s when TIF legislation was passed that allowed significant funding of our Bluffton campus. Following that, the commission has contributed by building 10 dorms on the Bluffton campus, as well as a student center, a gym, and many more things as well. So now we come to you for help to build a convocation center. You've all heard a lot about this, obviously, but the advantage we think for the university will be in student assembly, classrooms, offices, and will also be a sports arena. I think most of you know we're NCAA Division II. We have basketball teams. They're doing well, and there's increased community support, and we think this will help as well. For the community, this center could have cultural programs, concerts, and much more. And it's located in a convenient area for Beaufort, Hilton Head, and of course, Bluffton. So our ask is actually for $20 million, to help get us started, right away. The commission is currently involved with other projects, 2 dorms at the Bluffton campus and 1 at the Hilton Head campus. And all of those projects, including the Convocation Center, add up to monies that mean the $20 million ask is a very low percentage of everything that we plan to deal with. If this is not acceptable, I know there is opposition, then we certainly would ask for option 4 of what was presented to you by Ms. Harriet. We believe that a no vote from you basically could kill the project. The $20 million means we can start right away. We've been to your will, and thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next on our list is Doug Seifert. Am I saying it right? Seifert or Seifert? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Doug Seifert, and I'm honored to be in front of you all tonight. I'm running for sheriff, and I actually held a political seat, which I was on town council, so everything that you do up there, it doesn't go unnoticed. So I just want to tell you that I've been there. I did 2 terms, and I thank you. And I just want to give you the respect of introduce myself, and hopefully I'll be working with you in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next, Mr. McKellen, that's not appropriate.
I know, I couldn't resist.
All right. Number 4 on our list is Miss Felice Lamarca.
Clap for you too, Felice, don't worry.
Felice Lamarca, Beaufort resident and property owner all over the county. I am here to also talk to you about the USCB proposal in front of you. And I will say that I think it's a wonderful improvement, wonderful asset to the county. However, I question whether the county needs to be involved with this financially. We have a lot of projects for you to solve. And it seems to be that we don't have enough money to do all of the projects that are very important here in this county. I want to tell you something about me. I am a former higher education instructor and administrator. That is my background. And it was a small private college in the South. We had a liberal arts college, a law school, a pharmacy school. And we then built a medical school, a nursing school, an arena. How did we do that? We got no money from the state. I don't know if we got any money from the county, but we had very good alumni and very good fundraisers that we paid a lot of money to that department to raise money to do these things that are not cheap. So please understand, I am not against what USCB wants to do, but I am against with you committing money to this project while there are so many things on the table that are desperate for our money. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Arnold Brown.
I want to set a record here tonight. I just want to say to the council that I'm here opposing Pine Island, of course, and I just want to ask the council to be aware and be sharp and continue doing the good job that you're doing, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. That's the main thing in my message. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Rely upon the facts and not fiction. And like I said, I hope I set a record tonight. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Brown. Next on the list is Landon Jones.
Hello, Madam Chair. Landon Jones. I am the Vice Chancellor of Finance and Operations at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort. Thanks for the opportunity to come before you to speak again. I know we've gone round and round on this subject for quite a while now. The University of South Carolina, Beaufort is very supportive of the county CFO's recommendation of option number 4 with a total of $11.1 million to support the Sandshark 2020 project. This option allows USCB to grow within its existing footprint, avoiding expansion into new areas while continuing to support local business, generate economic activity, and enhance the quality of life for Beaufort County residents and the broader Low Country. Just as importantly, this project helps address one of the county's ongoing challenges, attracting and retaining younger families and professionals, including teachers and other essential workforce roles. A common concern we hear is the lack of year-round activities for families. The Sandshark 2020 project helps change that by enabling live indoor events such as concerts and touring shows, along with outdoor NCAA athletic events that bring residents and visitors together and strengthen our community identity. We have been working on trying to find additional donors, private donors. We are cultivating several. I don't want to list the amounts and who they are. As you're all aware, that takes time and effort. So we are working on some cultivation of some private donors. We do have alumni. Unfortunately, they're not all medical students, so they don't go out and make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year that can really provide that kind of alumni donation. I wish it was there, not quite there, but thank you for your time, and we hope you continue to support USCB and this project moving forward.
Thank you. Next is Brady Graydon. Is that the last name? Grogan. Okay, sorry. Brady Grogan.
Hello, my name is Brady Grogan, and I thank you for letting me be here today. I'm one of the women's basketball coaches at USCB, and I'm speaking on behalf of student athletes, students, and the prospective students in the conversations that we've had with them. The Convocation Center is a project that we've talked a great deal about. Facilities like that have kind of become the standard, not only in basketball in the region, but in the country nationwide at the Division I and Division II level. while it is an athletic facility and it does make my job a lot easier and bring a lot of interest on that side, it brings a lot of interest off the court as well with the events that you can put on in an arena like that. Something that we see a lot on the road when we go on road games and play in all these big convocation centers is that we'll see schedules and events going on and concerts and shows that are being put on by the university and by the town. And constantly I hear people say things along the lines like, oh, that would be incredible to have, or oh, that's so cool. We see a lot of our students travel up to Charleston, up to Columbia for events of similar styles. We truly believe in conversations with the students and prospective students that a convocation center like this would really grow the interest in not only the university, but in people staying here after college. We bring in a lot of people from all over the country, athletics-wise. Of our 25 players we've had in our first 3 years, only one of them's been from in-state, and her family moved to South Carolina from Ohio. So we truly believe this is something that'll grow the interest in the area, and it is obviously a great area, and this is something that we think is a whole that we don't have yet that will be great for the younger generation and the students that are coming to this county to go to USCB. So thank you for the time.
Thank you. All right, number 8 on our list is Frank Cervelli. Did I say it correctly? Cerulli. Okay, Cerulli. I added a V in there. It's not there. Okay, thank you.
I've been here before about this, and I was a college professor in New Jersey. My father, however, was a fire chief and a zoning enforcement officer. The burning laws down here were not allowed in New Jersey by the early 60s. You couldn't burn stuff in your yard. And even in the 40s and the 50s, you had to have a standardized container. So these laws that are allowed in the county, not obviously in Beaufort proper or Port Royal, are literally a century behind. And with all the expansion, Port Royal is growing enormously. You know, if you look at it, it looks like somebody dropped a jigsaw puzzle. It's become so large. You know, so a lot of fresh cut trees are come down, and people burn those, and that is the worst pollutant that there is. Fresh cut trees being burned, and the worst for young children. And so you know that's the main reason I came up here today. You know, are there laws? Yeah, but nobody obeys them. I haven't seen anybody, you know, whenever I see somebody burning something, they're not 75 feet from their house, et cetera, et cetera. And the other zoning problems, of course, are no car inspection, loud mufflers, bikers don't have to wear helmets, you know, that kind of thing. So that really, those kinds of lack of zoning laws and dangerous burning laws, I'm surprised have not been, you know, addressed in the county when they have been addressed in Port Royal and the town proper. Last thing is I see some other zoning stuff, and I'll just give you a good example. I was driving to the beach today, and I went down 6th Avenue, and it's closed. It says private property on a public road. I don't quite understand how that works, but no big deal. But strange. Anyway, that's the main thing. These burning laws are literally a century behind, and I don't quite know why they're still allowed, but perhaps someone can tell me at some point. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, next on our list is Dr. Alpanu.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Councilwomen, Councilmen. Thank you for the opportunity to summarize in many ways some of the things that have been before you for quite some time. Tonight, I want very specifically to speak to some of the reasons for your vote of yes for what is coming before you very soon. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in the continued growth and future of USCB for an even greater impact in this region, both educational, cultural, and economic impact. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in attracting and retaining youth and workforce need in our region. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in the quality of life so needed to retain young professionals who have already been recruited to meet the workforce need of this region. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in the infrastructure that will increase sporting, educational, and cultural events that will drive business revenue and tax revenue to our region. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in ball field parks, adding to the need for parks which has already been recognized and prioritized. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment into a facility for better handling of emergency preparedness and response, whether emergency, pandemic, and other emergencies that are certain to visit our region. Your yes vote this evening is a vote for investment in leveraging state support and other support to acquire facility that will benefit not only USCB, but our entire region, thus reducing the burden of acquiring such asset at our own expenses alone. Your yes vote this evening is a vote to support our scholar athletes and the support coaches and staff who have shown up here this evening and at other public meetings for our future scholar athletes, all of whom share their talent and inspire our community with a sense of pride, lots to cheer about, and lift our spirits. Your yes vote this evening is a vote to launch the execution of the Sandchalk project, thus curtailing construction cost escalations and avoiding costly delay and avoiding altogether a loss of opportunity. And yes, your yes vote this evening will enshrine this county council in history for its commitment to invest in the welfare and prosperity of our region. The Sandchalk 2020 project has already garnered broad support from the public, including resolution of support by our municipalities and, of course, the support of the state. Finally, on behalf of the entire USCB community, I want to thank you for the opportunity to express the urgency of our request, and thank you also for the support that you have given to higher education in our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Panu. Next, and the last person on our list is Ms. Gina Montford. Gianna, is it? Gina, okay.
Members, my name is Gina Montford, and I've had the pleasure of serving as Interim Director of Athletics at USC Beaufort. And I've worked at USCB for 23 years. And during that time, I've witnessed the transformative growth of our institution, growth that has contributed significantly to the development and vitality of Beaufort County. I respectfully request that you continue or consider funding support for this initiative. The impact of the Sandchalk 2020 project extends far beyond athletics, while it does bring us in line with our peer NCAA institutions. But at its core, it's about the quality of life, economic growth, community access, and keeping Beaufort County dollars here in Beaufort County. Today, many of our residents leave the county to attend concerts and other events and athletic competitions in Charleston, Savannah, and soon enough in Port Wentworth. And when they leave, their spending leaves with them in the form of hotel stays, meals, entertainment, transportation, and sales tax revenue, all flowing into neighboring communities instead of benefiting our own. The Sandshark 2020 project directly addresses this issue. This project includes facilities to host sporting events, as well as trade shows and concerts, commencements, and a wide range of community events. Additionally, would also allow USC Beaufort to return the recreation center fully to the students. The Convocation Center and athletic facilities gives us an infrastructure we do not currently have, yet badly need, not only for the university, but for the county. These facilities fill a critical need within Beaufort County by providing additional space for residents, schools, and youth sport programs. And for USC Beaufort, these venues will enable us to host the very activities that the families in our county are leaving to attend for themselves and their children. It is not just beneficial, it is overdue, increasing tourism revenue and expanding our tax base in a sustainable and forward-looking way. It is an investment in economic vitality and community pride and local opportunity and in the future of Beaufort County. It will support the infrastructure needs of the county and generate additional revenue through local spending, funds that can address the critical needs such as road and other essential public services. Council members, I respectfully ask for your strongest consideration and continued support of this project, that we can move forward at a critical moment when it can have its greatest impact. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment period. Next on the agenda is our liaison and committee reports, and I will call on the individuals. If you have nothing to report, that's fine. Beaufort County Transportation Committee, Ms. Tabernick, do you have anything to report?
I do not.
Okay. Bluffton Township Fire District, Councilman Cunningham, do you have anything?
Just that we swore in our new member last week to the fire board, and then we also have 2 agenda items on today to fund the new fire station out in Sun City, which will also service other parts of Bluffton on 170.
Okay, and EMS is included in that
Yes.
facility? All right, thank you. DePusky Island Fire District, Councilman Lawson? Do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Okay. All right, Finance Administration and Economic Development Committee, Councilman Lawson. Do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
All right. All right, I know Mr. McKellen has something from Green Space Advisory Committee.
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. The Green Space Committee had a meeting on the 13th of this month. We have of the $120 million that we collected, we have about $75 to $80 million that is left. And we considered 2 of the existing applications that were presented to us. One is for a conservation easement application that was made by the Durst family for what we call the Victoria Bluff Tracks. The value of the land has been established at about $18 million, the conservation easement at 12.5. And that easement, the landowners have agreed to a 30% contribution, the state 10%, and the Green Space Committee has agreed to a 60% contribution of about $7.5 million. It's 406 acres in the western area in Bluffton. There's another conservation easement application on something we call the Chelsea Tracks, which is the geographic region is actually outside of the county because it's in Jasper County. It's 2,672 acres. Fair market value is $34 million. The conservation easement that is in the application is valued at $11 million. Beaufort County's Green Space will fund $2 million of that. Jasper County is giving $2 million. The state is giving $1.5 million, and the Department of Defense is giving us $5,500,000 to satisfy the request for the conservation easement on that property. Sarah, do you have that? Not the yellow map, but the other map. Okay, then you can put that one up. There are 3 areas that we are dealing with here where we are conserving property through conservation easements. One is called the Buckfield Tract, which is in the northern part of the county, and we have there about 2,800 acres. Further down in the middle is the Chelsea Tract that I was just talking about that has 2,672 acres. And there's another one we're looking at the moment, which we call the New River Forest. This is in Bluffton. right adjacent to Palmetto Bluff. That yellow area that you see there is right off of 46 and near the May River High School. There are 5,000 acres of virgin forest there. The family that owns that is willing to sell it to Green Space, and we are working now to obtain some partners who will be involved with us in the prospective purchase there. This is right near the New River developments. There are 5 or 6 new neighborhoods there, and the developers are circling this 5,000 acres. There are 100 to 200-year-old trees existing on this property. This property has been in private hands ever since it was created many millions of years ago. There's no development on it. There are only logging roads on it because timber has been taken out over the years to pay some of the bills for maintenance. This property, the yellow area you see there, the 5,000 acres, is on the New River. I don't know if anyone's really familiar with that. The New River is one of those unique rivers in the United States. It does not run north to south. It runs south to north, the exact opposite of what most rivers do run. It's a 35-mile river that goes through South Carolina into North Carolina and eventually ends up in West Virginia. It is a zone that most people find to be extremely relaxing. It's adjacent to Palmetto Bluff. I went out there for a tour last Friday, and when I moved into the 5,000 acres and left the area where there were houses, I couldn't hear anything except birds and animals moving through the reeds. It was perfectly silent, like we were in a skiff, a compartmentalized intelligence briefing. There was nothing happening there except animal noises. The trees are remarkable, actually, in their presence and their stately composure. As you go through there, a sense of calm comes over you. Adjacent to this yellow outline, you see the orange one up there? That's 800 acres that's already owned by the county. We bought it in 2008. It is directly adjacent to that property and is also on the New River. The unfortunate thing I believe about this, the only unfortunate thing is, access to the New River from that 800 acres is somewhat problematic. There is no problem getting to the New River from the 5,000 acres that are here. So if we were to combine these two, we would have 5,800 acres that could be used in Bluffton as a passive park. Now, if we do this in partnership with some other entities within the state, our hope is that the South Carolina Forestry Commission may take this over and maintain it at no cost to the people in Beaufort County. And they will install the passive park apparatus. They will maintain it, and they will ensure that it is protected. Timber may still be taken out to pay some of the bills, but people who use this will have direct access to that 35-mile river that runs south to north up into West Virginia. It would be a remarkable legacy. If you look at the Buckfield and the Chelsea and the New River Forest, you'll see that we would have preserved over 10,000 acres of property, which usually results in an accelerated conservation effort that would result in the removal or the lack of building of 3,000 to 4,000 homes in the Bluffton area. So it's a remarkable opportunity and one that we are going to be pursuing, and I'm presenting it here tonight so that everyone in the audience and everyone on council has an idea of what is happening that's extremely exciting out in the western area in Bluffton. And I'd be happy, any questions if anybody has, I'm happy to answer
We
them.
plan a field trip for any council
Oh,
members.
yeah, good. I'm glad you said that. April 10th, we're going to have a field trip out there again for anyone on council who wishes to join the group for a tour of the 5,000 acres. And I would urge you, if you have the time and you can spare it, to go ahead and do that and just let the 5,000 acres settle within you for a moment and then decide whether you think we should make it into a passive park for the 200,000 people that live in Beaufort County.
Okay, great. All right. Historic Preservation Review Board, Councilman Glover, do you have anything to report from them? All right. Library Board, Councilman Passman?
Yes, Library Board met March the 11th. They installed the 4 new members. They've reorganized. They have their chair and vice chair. Action was taken as far as presentation of what we're doing, how the library board conducts its business. They're doing a spectacular job. We have one person on the board who will be up for renewal. Their term is ending, but they will try and renew, and we will have one person that we will have to replace.
Thank you. Public Facilities Committee, Councilman Cunningham.
Nothing to report currently.
David, Solid Waste and Recycling.
Nothing to report at the moment.
All right, and I had Transportation Advisory Committee, but our administrator covered that. Just a reminder, April 1st at the Bluffton Rotary Center, 5:30, public, open to the public. And we would appreciate the public coming and giving that committee, Transportation Advisory Committee, their thoughts and comments. All right, number 10 on the agenda is approval of the consent
Excuse me,
agenda.
Madam Chair, I have one other thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
On Thursday, March 26th at 6 o'clock will be the county chat at the Hilton Head Library.
Oh, right. What time does that start?
6 o'clock to 7:30.
6 o'clock, all right. And I'm glad you said that, on March 26th.
This Thursday.
Thursday, and also there will be a Shell Point community meeting on March 26th at 6 o'clock at the Low Country Montessori School to talk about the sidewalks and also talk about stormwater and traffic concerns and whatever else the public would like to talk about. That will be at 6 o'clock at the Low Country Montessori School behind Food Lion. And that is for Shell Point and anyone who lives in the Shell Point area. Okay, anybody else that I missed that needs to report on any committee? All right, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Joe and Logan. All in favor by sign of hands? And that is unanimous to approve the consent agenda. Okay, at this time, we have, we had a addition to the agenda, but we're going to do that as 11B. So 11A is consideration of options to fund the USB Convocation Center. This came through the Finance Administration and Economic Development Committee, voted to deny 4-4, and I think Ms. Harriet's going to present.
I may have presented this a time or two. Your options are you pulling the options up? Please, sorry. It's the same options we talked about at February Finance Committee and March Finance Committee. So obviously I had a lot of restrictions on how we were going to be able to fund this. No issuance of county debt for the project, remain mill neutral, and then the option of the MCIP was not on the table at the time. So I've created 4 options for you. Any questions about the options that we talked about at Finance Committee or at, well, both Finance Committees?
Open it up for questions, yes.
I was unable to attend the Finance Committee. I don't want you to rehash everything, but the one pager here, I believe, was an option 4 that was voted upon?
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
So yeah, the recommendation was option 4, the one that
Yep.
ended in a tie with denial.
Okay, and can you explain that a little bit more, just so I know what I'm voting on that?
The option?
Yeah, option 4.
Right. Okay. So in 2025 Series GO bond, we issued $9.5 million for the future law enforcement center out at Cooler Track. And then from fiscal year 25, where you guys had originally increased Beaufort Memorial Hospital and TCL's millage for their payments that they received from what was going to be the GO bond, but it ended up being general fund balance in current year. Well, that accumulated into a fund balance in their respective funds. So right now, both of those options, those two combined, are $11.1 million that we have now that we could contribute if council chooses to, and you're not binding future councils, and it's not issuing debt, it's staying mill neutral, and all the other restrictions that were in place. That's what option 4 was.
All right, thank you for that, Pinky. And just follow up on that. What does that do for the law enforcement center? Has there been any further conversation with that? I know that's a project way down the road.
Way down the road. Right now, we issued bonds for the law enforcement center, but we don't have a conceptual design plan, anything yet. It's nowhere near shovel ready. And Jared and I talked about it at the time when you are ready to move forward, because that is a large project. The $9.5 million was for planning and design, from what I recall, in the GEO bond. So I don't believe we're at that stage right now, and when you get to that point, we could talk about funding options then.
Any other questions, Councilmember?
Yeah, I got a lot, but I'm not going to go through it right now.
Okay, so is there a motion? All right, Councilman Passman?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we adopt.
Okay, do we have a second? Who's second? All right. All right, we have a second by, all right. Well, I'll open it up for discussion. Any comments? Okay, go ahead.
Before you, I gave you a 5-page reasoning why I believe that we should support this. I also gave you a 1-page synopsis of that. As an educator, education is extremely important. I've dealt with K-12 and at the college level. I too was an educator at the college level. I was on the board of trustees for 2 different colleges. They become the lifeblood of a community. If you are watching March Madness, you see what the sports do for the enthusiasm that takes place at a college or a university, whether it's a D1 school, a D2 school, which we are, or a D3 school. There is the vitality there. As I said, this is going to be the hub of our community. It's going to serve a multitude of purposes, whether it's sports, whether it's education, whether it's workforce development. And one of the things that is a key to this building is it can be a Cat 5 building, which we do not have. It is not if, it is when the next Hurricane Matthew or Hugo comes to this area. We do not have a facility that can be a staging area, a housing area, and that's something that we desperately need for our community. So these are my reasons why I'm going to support this, and I ask for your support.
Anyone else like to make comments? Yes, Councilman McCallum?
I support this effort and the request. I believe that, following up on Joe's comments, that this that space really does transform USCB's ability for graduations, for academic conferences, research expos, and community education events. It enhances their ability to attract high-caliber faculty, researchers, and students. It supports dual enrollment and early college programs that benefit Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton County school districts, and it creates a venue for career fairs, regional workforce summits, and employer recruitment events, strengthening the talent pipeline for local industries. I think this is a necessity to consider moving forward, not 2 weeks or 3 months, but 5, 10, 20, 30 years out as this area continues to grow, as more people who live here want to attend a high-caliber 4-year school, from people outside the area who will come here to attend a high-caliber 4-year school. We have to look forward to see what we expect to be happening here and then provide the support that's necessary for this university to thrive. I really believe that this will pay benefits to us all in the future as we go forward. With regard to the Cat 5 building, Joe mentioned 2 things, but there's no area here that serves as a command center. There is no place for people to gather to administer the emergency services that become necessary when a hurricane hits. that will protect them from the effects of the hurricane as they're administering all the programs that need to be done. So that convocation center as a Cat 5 building will be able to serve that very important purpose for us when that time comes, and it will come, there's no doubt about it. So that's another consideration for us to extend, I believe, the seed money here. This isn't going to pay for it, but it does provide the seed money that the chancellor needs so he can tell other people that his home county is committed to this institution and try and get them to provide the additional money that he needs. I do believe the state has made a commitment here as well already. So our contribution here, knowing we cannot bind future councils that will be elected in November, this is what we can do here in the last 90 days of this fiscal year and the next 6 months of the next fiscal year while we are all still together as a deliberative body. I support this. I think it's absolutely necessary if you take the long view, which is really what we all must do these days. Thank you very much.
Okay, is it Councilman Lawson online? Go ahead.
Yeah, so make sure that, okay, I'm not on mute, but I agree. I mean, this is something that we need to support. I look at the councils before us that actually set the millage up and push forward the university. And I can tell you right now that my wife as well as my daughter both graduated from USCB, and without their support and their vision of us doing things. And I agree though with Ms. LaMarca, who spoke during our public comment. I mean, we've got lots of things out there, but it's also our job as county people, as county council persons, that we need to make sure we're doing what's right. And if we have to juggle things to make things happen, I mean, obviously USCB came and asked us for $47 million. And there's no way we can do that. I mean, $47 million, that's 1/4 of our yearly budget. There's no way we could handle that. But again, if we take this off in chunks and somehow help them, and whether it's the future of we putting something on the ballot that the community then decides how much more we're going to spend, whether it's through a half-cent sales tax referendum or more money or some type of higher education that would include USCB and also TCL. I think they're the lifeblood of what we do, and to see kids have a chance to go to college, stay home, and do it economically, and again, promote what we're doing here, I think is very, very important. So sacrifices do need to be made, and we need to figure out how we do this. Plus also, everything we're coming under with transportation and schools and all the other pressures that we've got with boat landings. We're a growing county, but again, I think we can make it happen. And this is the one step I think that we should commit to at this time.
Vice Chairman Tabernet.
So I've spoken about this before. I too, like Mr. Passman, am a lifelong educator. I believe in higher ed. I believe in K-12 ed. However, right now I sit as a council member, and I look at what is important right now to our taxpayers. We charge them ad valorem taxes to provide the services they expect. I would be in favor of putting a question on the ballot. Do people want the council to expend funds for this? I'm not in favor right now of supporting it. And the money that we have set aside for the law enforcement center, I'll remind everybody, I believe we have to do an EMS fire station there. And we also, the sheriff has really sort of trimmed that down. There would be an emergency management center there. So I think we're being premature in taking that money away. Yes, we need an emergency management center. It should be owned by the county, and we could possibly move forward with that. So my concern is put it on the ballot, let the people tell us what they want to do instead of us making the decision. And I would also question, the university originally asked for 47 million, now we're at 20 million, and my question will be, will they be back again for another 27 million? So I am not in favor of this motion.
Any other comments? I saw your hand first.
Oh, okay. All right. I have 3 comments, actually. Regarding hurricanes, apparently some members of this council doesn't realize there are already 2 buildings. One's a Cat 4, the other's a Cat 5 in Bluffton. And I know about these buildings because I used to work in them. And when Matthew came We all had to evacuate. All the employees that worked in those two buildings evacuated, and they have a huge generator there. And EMS and all the first responders came in and spent a week there at night, every night, until Hurricane Matthew they cleaned up the roads and whatever. Then Irma came along and we had to evacuate again. And these two buildings withstand Category 4 and Category 5 hurricanes. Also, there's a very large generator there that can generate a lot of energy so that the first responders can respond to 911 calls or if they have to take someone to the hospital or whatever. And those buildings sit in Bluffton, town of Bluffton. Also, I want to bring up what some of my constituents wanted me to bring up. In 2017, the campus at the south end of Hilton Head Island cost approximately $24.5 million. It utilizes 6 acres of prime real estate and was built to provide hospitality resort tourism for 400 students. I don't know if someone can answer my question or not, but how many students attend the campus? I understand the building is used for events such as weddings or, they also, RBC Heritage use it to distribute uniforms. Conservative estimates could also have been provided for about 120 to 150 low-rise apartments for workforce housing there instead of a campus for hospitality, resort, and tourism for 400 students. So I'd just like to know if someone could answer the question. Dr. Pinot. Oh, how many students attend that campus?
Hilton Head campus was an initiative and an effort that included both TIF from the town of Hilton Head as well as the commission funding as well as the institutional funding. It was a partnership. And it was understood from the get-go that the success of that the campus was also dependent on having housing availability. And it is at this point still a campus for which we're needing housing in order for us to be able to fully capitalize on the success in terms of students who are attending. In addition to hospitality management students, we also have business students, and we are envisioning a center for AI, and we are also envisioning a center for a nursing program very soon. And we have active involvement from the OLLI program that is, OLLI is Osher Lifelong Learning Institute program that is on the Hilton Head Island. We have 3 OLLI programs in the 3 communities in which we have campuses, and these are all engaged in there. But at the end of the day, and this is something that we've gone over and over again with town, that it is critical for us to have on-campus housing, because without it, then we're not going to be able to fill the capacity what the facility has.
Okay, so you can't tell me how many students attend?
I can tell you how many majors are in different categories. We have 100+ major in hospitality management, yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right. Any other comments from anyone on council? Yes, sir.
I'll go after Mr. Cunningham.
Go ahead.
All right,
You
go
had
ahead.
your hand up first.
Go ahead, Councilman
sure.
York.
Thank you.
Clever.
Yes, Madam Chairman, I'm going to support the motion that's on the floor. I really, truly believe in all the things that have been said about the opportunity, the investment in community, economic growth. And I think for me, anytime you invest in education, it's a dollar well spent. And so I am going to support it. I just was hoping that this council could do more, but I'm going to support the motion that's on the floor.
Okay, Councilman Cunningham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So first off, this started over a year ago, the conversations, and the ask was $100 million. Then it went down to $47 million, and it was at $47 million 2 weeks ago until we had a meeting saying that we're only going to do 20 and nothing less. So now the ask is only 20. And I know that because two of the members that just motioned that, both of them said in that meeting, they asked for 47, so 20 isn't even going to get this job done. So that's the first part. I see that just continuing to trickle if we're not actually getting anything done. So the whole goal behind this is to get partially funded. Partially funded doesn't get anything done. I didn't know she was going to speak on the Hilton Head hospitality thing, but that proves the point. It wasn't fully funded, so you have a building not being used because you don't have housing for that building. So if we're going to partially do a project, you want me to tie up $20 million of our taxpayer dollars for who knows how long before something actually gets built or a shovel in the ground. And I'll tell you this just because I was a little offended by it, honestly, the statement said, and that doesn't come easily by me. I graduated from USCB. Y'all have never once reached out to me about a fundraiser, about helping. I run a business in the community. Never once. Graduated from there, got my degree from there, went all the way through, unlike the 50% that transfer out. I stayed all the way through. No call ever. Not after I graduated teaching, not when I got on county council, nothing. So even after we've had conversations, no call. I would have helped you guys fundraise.
Made the call.
But with that said, made a call in the last month or two, but not in the past 8 years of me graduating and 6 years being on county council. But that belabors the point. We'll continue to move on. My problem with this is the project's great. I love the idea. I want to see USCB do it. But using taxpayer funds to do that when we have projects that we've promised the community that aren't already done, that's where our priorities have to lie. $20 million is a lot of money. And we have road projects, sidewalks, infrastructure needs that need to get done. We have another EMS station that needs to get done. And I'll be honest, I'm in Bluffton. That's my area. Our number one complaint by anybody is fix the roads and slow down growth. Every person that's coming to talk about USCB talks about how this will help USCB grow. We don't want anything else to grow right now in Beaufort County. We want to slow that down because we have enough problems in this county, and we're just adding more to it by allowing more building. And that's failure of us and people before us. So I can't support it. I can tell you, to quote Mr. McKellen, I agree we have to look forward, but you can't look forward until you fix the problems that have already been done. And until we can fix the roads and slow down growth in our infrastructure, we're never going to be able to fix that problem. And I'll leave it with this last part. The only ask I had of your group a year ago was, are you going to go to the other counties and hold them accountable as well? And I was told we'll have an answer and funding from them by the end of the year. That was last year. And then the last meeting, you guys told me they didn't have any funding. And I understand that. Sometimes it goes that way, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if y'all didn't try. I'm sure you did. And maybe they said no. I have no clue. But the point is, for us to pony up and do it when we don't know if anything's going to get done, when I know I have projects that we can get shovel ready now, that'd be irresponsible for me to do and use our taxpayer dollars that way. So I will oppose that. I would love to see this project move forward one day. I'd love to see the state kick in more. I'd love to see the federal government be able to kick in more to help our state institutions. I would love to see that because I do want this to happen. But we have to take care of the first steps before we build that.
Okay, Councilman Rich?
Yeah, Dr. Panu, I love all the comments up here tonight. The housing issue on Hilton Head predated the building of this campus. There's been a housing shortage for a lot of years, especially workforce housing. What have you heard recently from the town as to how they're going to, and a time frame? Is there a time frame that they gave you of the proper housing to get the school going?
So with regard to the housing in Hilton Head, we have worked very closely with town, and we had an initiative that was going to involve both private and our intervention in there to get funding done. And fortunately, the funding for this private entity didn't seem to have gone through, so we've had to get started all over again. And wondered if we had a chance, would tell you about the P3 initiative that is on the table that we hope. And you heard also it being mentioned by Dr. Pierce when he was talking about the engagement of the Beaufort Higher Education Commission. So we are on track.
Any other
appreciate-
comments? Because I think we
I
need
just
to
think
call the
what-
question.
We have one over here.
Madam Chair.
What, yeah,
Oh, okay.
can I just finish up one last second?
Yes, go ahead.
We have commissioned, I think it's 15 people, to go and study TAC, Transportation Advisory Committee. They're looking at things that we promised this community back in 2018 that were never done. We're trying to get that going. So I think it's very difficult for this council to even consider this at this point. But we support these kids big time. You know how we all feel about that. But it's a tough ask at this moment.
Yeah, please also remind
Please.
council that this is not a conversation that started this year. We have been at this initiative for now 6, almost 7 years of accumulating funding from the state with the commitment that we were going to have a partnership between county funding and the state funding. So this is not something that started this year. And this is also goes to the numbers that you were referring to as to why is the number changing. We were asking for $47 million because that's the match, the starting place for that conversation between county and state was to be able to go in a half and half kind of proposition. You can see that reflected even in the design funding that was requested and was provided through county. That was the premise of our working condition. And at this point, we're settling for something less than so that we can get rolling and avoid the escalation in cost that would be ensuing as a result of another delay. Because when we first started talking about the construction of just the facility at the time, the convocation, we were talking about $48 to $50 million. And now it is so much, much more and much higher. Every year there is an increase in cost. So delay is not just a matter of time and pushing back something, it's also a huge cost proposition that is in there. The other thing that I want to point out is that we have heard feedback that says you all haven't raised money from private sources. And we've said in order for us to be able to raise money from private sources, we have to be able to have something to offer. But then we're also hearing if we give you something to get going and put you in position to secure that kind of funding, it might be an incomplete project. So chicken and egg kind of dilemma a little bit in that particular position. But we are convinced, and it's critical, and this is why we're really seeking your yes vote, and you will see that in the notes that have been provided, that once we get rolling, then the ability to secure some of the other funding that is needed in order for for all the project to be completed will definitely be benefiting because we have something to offer to where we're soliciting additional funds, whereas without that we do not have something. Okay,
Thank you, Dr.
that's
Panu.
absolutely
I think we have one more council member who'd like to make remarks, and then.
Yes, if I may.
Yeah. then
I
we-
support us controlling growth in the county because of the point of growth where we are now. But this conversation center will not add to or expedite growth in the county, but it will be an economic engine for the USCB, and it will provide sporting activities, concerts, and things of that nature for our young people, our young adults, and especially our young teenagers who doesn't have any entertainment in Beaufort County at all. And so I'm going to support this based upon the selection of option 4 as well.
Okay, last comment?
Yes, this actually is for CFO on this one. The agenda has consideration of options, and obviously it has the 4 options here. Is there going to be a memorandum prepared that's going to tie the funding to a memorandum, or
Well, if you go with option 4, I have to come back to you for a bond ordinance amendment because the
Okay, that's what I
$9.5
was,
million
that's what I was
is in
asking
the
for.
bond.
Okay.
Clarification of that? Okay.
Yeah, and making sure that
And
this
then
wasn't just,
that coupled with the appropriation of the 1.6 million from the other two funds, from TCL and BMH.
and I guess this goes maybe at a future conversation, but if it passes, and Dr. Panu, with our funding, would that also be an opportunity for it to be open to the public for the use of those facilities out there, the ball fields and all that?
Yeah, we will have under obviously our stewardship, because as you know, there's a cost to operating facility and so on and so forth. So you can't, it's just like any of the other public facilities that we have. People don't just walk in and use without some supervision and some agreements in place.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd just like to make one comment before we call the roll call vote. In Jasper County, there's a facility that was built with federal dollars for Operations Center and Shelter that actually, I've visited it after it was renovated, in Category 5, and it's my understanding that would be used too. And it was funded with federal dollars to do that renovation. All right.
I'm checking. I have 30 seconds.
Yes.
I promise I'll be quick. Just to touch on two things, if I could. The hurricane thing. Sorry, I was just letting you know what happened during Matthew. We used Station 300 for our fire and EMS. They stayed there during Matthew, and the National Guard stayed there during Irma. So we opened up our doors there. It is a Cat 4 building, and that offer always stands to the state and the town and county. So with that said, we do have other resources to put them in. But they ran their command center out of there during Matthew. And lastly,
May I please
talking
ask
about
what the capacity
talking about
is?
growth, Jasper County in this last year has approved 16,000 houses that are not built yet. 16,000. We're not even seeing the problems on our infrastructure yet. So you want to talk about looking in the future? We have 16 more thousand houses coming on 278 that we do not have any way of fixing right now. That's where our mindset needs to be, is looking forward to that growth that's coming. That's our problem now, even though we're not building it. So which is why I've been advocating so much about other people kicking in and helping, even on our roads. I went to Jasper County about that over a year ago because they're the ones that are building right in our line, but using our infrastructure, and our taxpayers are stuck paying for it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now take a roll call vote, please.
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Passman?
Yes.
Councilmember McGowan? Councilmember Reeds?
No.
Councilmember Lawson?
Mark Lawson, yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Dawson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham?
No.
Councilmember Brown?
No.
Councilmember Bartholomew?
Yes.
Vice Chair Tabernick?
No.
Chair Howard?
No.
The motion passes.
For option 4. Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moving on, we are at 11B, which is was the motion made by Councilman McAllen, discussion of education of the public for the transportation tax. And I would like, if our administrator has some guidance on that, if you've had a chance to think about that at any, I think we can give you direction, and we can do that in a short discussion. We don't want to get into
No, it
the
doesn't have to
how.
be lengthy. It's just that when we had this resolution passed, I made a statement back when we did that, how there's some education and advocacy. And then at the next meeting we had, I did the same thing again, and I know other members of council have said the same thing over and over again, and we've been saying the same thing now for months, and I'd like to find out what we can do from this point forward, almost in an emergency kind of a way, to find a firm that can come in and help us here with education and advocacy. At the last referendum, we didn't have that, and there was a hesitancy to hire. Jasper County did hire someone, and they passed 3 1% sales taxes. So the sales tax now, the tax now in Jasper County is 9%, 6% for the state, and 3 1% sales taxes. We now have a tax of 6% because our referendum didn't pass.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
So
I
So
know. I
it's
think we
time
all
for
know
us
that.
to get busy and try and get someone to help us the way they helped Jasper, who had 3 successes when we had none.
Okay. Is there any other advice for our administrator or discussion? I think, all right, Councilman Bartholomew?
I think I'd like feedback as to why one has not been hired and what steps we're looking at now to hire. Because, you know, Jared, to your credit, you did a wonderful job last go around, but that should not be on you. You worked yourself to death on that, buddy. And I appreciate your efforts, but that should not be on you.
We can't spend our time talking to 16 people in the library. We've got to really get organized here and get a social
Actually, that
social
committee, I don't know
message.
if you've watched their meetings, they're doing a really good job. But once we get their direction,
Yeah.
then we need to educate.
Right.
All right.
Well, nobody answered the question.
I would like-
What steps have been taken so far?
So we have not taken any actions so far. The committee is going forward with their meetings and input. I think it would be appropriate, should council direct us to do so, we would engage a firm. We have identified potential for funds for that to assist with the committee. I think it's important that we understand what the committee is going to recommend so that it is made, that is what's presented to the public. So I think the key part is going to be what projects are going to be recommended, how long is that going to be recommended, and then does council, pass the referendum to get the ballot question. So I think now would be a good time to do so. If council directs, we would move forward with engaging a firm and looking at options for that.
Councilman Brown, did you have a question?
I just want to say to Mr. McEllen, yes, Jasper County passed a 3% sales tax in addition to 6%. So they're paying 9% out there, but guess what? They're all coming to Beaufort to do their shopping because ours is only 6%. They don't want to pay the 9%.
Ruining our roads in the same time.
Okay.
Spent $20 million,
Madam
so you
Chair.
might want to advocate that part too, but I know.
All right, let's,
But
what
can
do you
I-
need from us?
Well, listen, before a motion, can I?
No, it's not a motion,
And we
it's a
can't-
directive.
It's just a
that
direction,
you
it's
will
just a
research
discussion.
and bring to us.
Yes.
Excuse me. All right, this is just a discussion, okay?
Can I say something now?
Yes, you
Is
can.
that possible?
But we had too many people talking at the same time.
Sure. Mr. Moore, we have almost 2,000 employees at this county. We have municipalities that employ people. I don't think there's anybody that can come in here and tell us what we need better than the people that we serve and the people that work for us. And I'm not saying Jared should do it. I'm saying you get people from here, from the county, from the municipalities, and you take care of that. I mean, this is basics 101. If we go back to 2018, we asked for a bunch of money. We haven't spent it yet. We got to get that cleared up. Let's get some check boxes. Let's do some projects, get them done. But why won't we look at using our own people? We got probably 4,000 employees that we pay for in this county. I mean, that's something I think we should look at.
Councilman Dawson?
If I might offer a suggestion to the administrator, the school district use outside help to get their referendum passed. So I would suggest you communicate with them as well.
And they have shared some excellent ideas with administration. Councilman Lawson?
Yes, let me just say that when you hire an outside firm, it's actually coming in not to promote one side, but it's to educate both sides. So they need to look at the pros and the cons, and you tell people what the cons are, you tell people what the pros are. So again, this is not something we're out to promote our side or what we want. It is something that helps to educate people. So when they go to vote, they then know what they're voting for. So I just want to make sure that perception's there, that again, this is something that is used to help people to make an educated decision when they do vote in November.
Excellent point. I think that's what Councilman McKellen's point was too, correct? Councilman Cunningham?
Yeah, I definitely think if we are going to go that route, that we need to hire a firm to educate, because legally we're not allowed to educate after it's passed our hands, which a lot of people always ask the question, why aren't you going out talking about it? We're not allowed. So, which is the weirdest law you could ever imagine. But secondly, I would just like to point out the irony that we're talking about putting a tax on after we just spent $20 million. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. I just
Yes,
want to
sir.
say something. If we pass the ordinance here in August, cause go on the ballot for November, we can't advocate. Nothing stops us from educating. We can educate all we want and talk about this and try and tell people the pros and cons, but we can't do that alone. Now, it's true, we can't go and tell people you should do this, but we certainly can tell them the pros and the cons about it without advocating any position one way or the other. And I believe that's true once we pass the third reading. Am I right, Brian? That's correct. Okay. I think we're pretty clear on it. So it's just a matter of maybe calling Jasper, see who they hired, call the school board, see who they hired. Jared, I think, has done some research. He may have some suggestions, or you probably already know about them. But I think what we'd like to do is direct the staff to go ahead and come up with some suggestions as to how we should proceed in this matter. And I'd sure like to get those back before the end of this month.
Okay, I think we've, Councilman Bartholomew?
Do these have to go out to bid to hire these firms, or how does that work?
We would have to research the procurement of that, which I've already discussed that with the CFO. So we would engage with our procurement office to see if there's anything that would be available. We need to get a cost estimate. Obviously, that would be part of the procurement process, and then we would have to figure out, that. But in terms of end of the month, this is the 23rd, so
I know.
so we really can't bring anything back to you all. So we would have to move forward. And I would just add, we did not budget for this, so we would need to. That's
Find
another
money.
point. The referendum, the resolution was passed during the budget cycle. So, but to be clear, should council direct us to do so, we will move expeditiously as possible.
I think the message is pretty.
Do you need an actual motion to vote
I
on
think
that?
unless I'll defer to the chair, but unless there's objection, we'll move forward. And
I heard one council member had concerns, Councilman Reeds.
I've made them clear, and I'm fine.
Okay, all right, I think we're good, unless, all right.
Brian, do you have any other thoughts on that?
Whether or not we have to go out to bid with an RFP will depend upon the cost.
It really
If it's over
depends, right.
$25,000, you have to. If it's less than $25,000, we can use small purchase.
Okay.
So administration will move forward with that engagement.
Good discussion.
And last
And
question,
thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
Mhm.
I don't think we have to wait for the TAC to bring their recommendations, because I don't think it changes the scope of what the firm would be trying to do.
I agree. I mean, I think it depends. I think we can get them in place, and then once the TAC comes forward, their recommendations, that would be what we would want to use to educate the public.
Educate the public.
So,
Good point. All right, thank you. All right.
okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for getting that on the agenda. I appreciate it.
Number 12, I will be doing the ordinances for readings because Ms. Tavernick is remote. A is 2026-07, an ordinance amending the zoning map for 5 acres, R300 016 0000063 0000, R300 016 000 0064, and then 4 more zeros, and then parcel R300 016 000 00065 and 0000. This is from T3HN to T4 VC. The vote at the Natural Resource Committee was 6-0 and 1 abstention. The vote at the first reading on February 23rd, 26 was 8-2 to 1 abstention, recusal, I should say. The vote at second reading and public hearing on March 9th. Did I just say that?
Madam Chairman,
Yeah.
I need to recuse myself.
Yes,
Okay,
and one
so
member
I'll do
now
that.
is recusing himself. All right. The Planning Commission had recommended approval of the rezoning. We have a motion by Councilman Passament. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman McKellen. By show of hands, all in favor?
Unfortunately, I have to read.
Oh, that's right. You have to read the conditions.
Yes.
This is the third.
Here are the conditions.
Okay.
Number 1, it is consistent with the goals and policies of the Comprehensive Code and the purposes of the Development Code. It is not in conflict with provisions of the Development Code or our Code of Ordinance. It does address a demonstrated community need. It is not required by changed conditions. It is compatible with existing and proposed use of land surrounding this land. It would not adversely affect nearby land. It would result in logical and orderly development patterns. It would not result in adverse impact on the natural environment, and it would result in development that is adequately served by public facilities.
Okay, we have Mr. Atkinson here. If anybody has any questions, to have any discussion? We
Just
have-
one question, yeah.
Oh, I need it. That's
I'll second it.
a second by David on the criteria. Okay. All right, now it's open.
Just the only question right now at this point?
Yes, Councilman Rich, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, when Chuck comes up to talk about it, I'd like to hear, and I think I made a note last time, I'm not sure, but do we have any language in this ordinance that's going to say if the property's not used for what we're going to approve it for, it will revert back to what the zoning is now?
So that would not be permitted under state law.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have to downzone the property if you wanted to do that. You can't put a provision with time. You would have to do that as part of a development agreement, and that's not what's on the table. So once it's rezoned, that zoning stays.
So once it's rezoned, and they're going to build a church, a bigger church.
So the church is already there.
Right.
And their desire, the piece of property that's in question, they want to upzone it because currently they can build a fellowship hall up to 15,000 square feet.
Okay.
Because they want to entertain a school, they want the ability to build larger than 15,000 square feet. So that's the whole purpose behind it. But that whole property has been owned and run by the same church, and I believe it's for more than a century. It's 1920s or back.
I appreciate all that. Let's say 10 years down the road, they don't want to do it. They can sell this property. What are they not allowed to do? Housing, what? I mean, how does this work?
Sure. So I don't have everything that's on the use table for the new zoning, but the Corners community moving from the church back up to Parker's in the Corners community, it matches the allowed uses within that entire community. And then to the right, if you're facing Martin Luther King, to the right, you hit the Marsh and then Penn Center on the other side of that, if that helps you orient.
I know exactly where it is. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're welcome.
appreciate that.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments? Councilman Cunningham?
Yeah, can you explain to me why staff is recommending approval on an upzoning when we've been instructed in the past to not approve upzonings without a contract?
Well, I don't understand the comment that you have been instructed to not upzone.
We've had
without
other
a
properties
contract.
come before us that we were saying, we were told by staff, be careful upzoning this, because just because somebody's looking to buy it or say they're going to develop it this way, that if you do not have an agreement in hand, that they can do whatever they want with that property or sell it to somebody different. And we were instructed to be careful from that before, but we're not being instructed to be careful for that today. Why?
Sure. So I think that would have to do with scale. As I recall, when those were brought up, you had developers coming in with the intention stating that they were going to do an apartment building or a development or something. And because of the scale, staff made the recommendation that you enter into a development agreement, especially if you use a place type overlay. A place type overlay has a regulating plan, and if you don't have a development agreement associated with it, then the development overlay plan is not enforceable. So this is one lot in a church, been owned for 100 years. It is connected. It's not very big. So even if they wanted to do something, it's very limited. Nobody's going to go in there and build 200 apartments. There's just not enough land there. So that would be the difference.
Is there currently any design plans or build plans or permits anywhere at the county?
They can't submit for a permit until it's an allowed use.
Have they showed any design plans or funding source to move this forward where you would have good faith that they would be moving forward?
They've submitted the application for the upzoning. They can't submit an application for a permit until it's an allowed use.
Correct, but have they showed us any building plans, designs, anything that they put forward? Because my understanding, there's not even a design done yet for this fellowship hall or school.
Yes, sir. I don't know why they would invest money to do a design with a use that's currently not allowed. So I don't know why they would do that. But no, we don't have it to answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay, Council, go ahead. Do you have another
Yeah,
question?
I'm just, not a question, just close it out. Yeah, I oppose this for the same reason I did before. I can't approve upzoning on a property without a development agreement. We've been fighting this for years. We just talked about Jasper County. We've fought this road multiple times, and I don't know why we're debating now. If somebody comes forward with a proposal and gives us everything through it and willing to tie it to a building a building agreement, I'm all for it. But there isn't one, so that makes me a little nervous.
I'd
Madam-
just like to
Madam
make
Chair?
a comment. They do own the land. It's not speculative. They already own the land. Councilman Lawson?
Yes, I just want to say that, I also have been opposed to upzoning anytime we look at this, but there are exceptions that we need to look at. And this is probably the perfect exception. When you start looking at a church that was established, I think I went and looked, it was in 1937 that this church was established. And then on top of that, I drove out there and took a look. There's plenty of space for them to expand and to do more things in the community. So their problem is under their current zoning, they can't go larger than the 15,000 square feet. And they got plenty of space to make it larger. The church wants to grow. They're part of the community. If there's ever a time that this council would upzone something, it would be for a church that is trying to serve the community and to expand school and to expand their facilities. So again, I am 100% for this. And again, these are the kind of exceptions that we need to consider and look for. That's not adding more units, not adding more houses. And again, the church is not going to turn around and sell it next week. Again, the church has been around for 89 years. So again, I support this 100%. And these are the kind of upzonings that we need to consider and give to people when they ask. But again, stay tough on the housing upzoning that we get asked for all the time.
Okay, any other comments? Councilman, I think I,
Yeah,
Councilman Dawson.
to Mark's comments, I support the upzoning of this property for this community church. It's a well-established community. It's well organized. They have a well-known pastor, and to think that they might sell this in some time in the future is not even thinkable. And so I think we should move forward and support this zoning request.
Councilman Bartholomew.
Yeah, I just want, going back to Logan's point, in the staff report, they did take the time and effort to put in the conceptual master plan for this facility that they're requesting. So they have invested money into a conceptual plan, but they can't, like Chuck said, they can't really move forward with anything further until we give them the authorization. So I support this. I think it's a great idea, and hopefully the school can get built out there and help a lot of people.
Okay, do we need, well, we can do a roll call vote, please. Thank you, Mr. Atkinson.
Councilmember Passman?
Yes.
Councilmember Bartholomew?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeds?
I'm going to support this, yes.
Councilmember McAllen?
Yes.
Councilmember Lawson?
Mark Lawson, yes.
Councilmember Dawson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham?
No.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Vice Chair Tabernick?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right, thank you. We're on 13A, which is ordinances for second reading. This is 2026-06, an ordinance adding a new section 54(8) to the Beaufort County Code of Ordinances as to prohibit and make unlawful the discharge of firearms in certain unincorporated areas of the county, to provide the penalty pertaining to such violations, and to provide certain exceptions and limitations thereto. The vote at the Community Services and Public Safety Committee on February 3rd, 2026 was 6-2. The vote at first reading on February 23rd, 2026 was 7-4. There was a public hearing held on March 9th, 2026. There was a vote to postpone the second reading until March 23rd, 2026. That was 10-0. I'd like to entertain a motion so we can begin discussion.
So moved, Madam Chair.
We have, the second was by Councilman Dawson. Okay. All right. We have some information we'd like to share since the meeting on March 9th. If we could.
Yes, by way of introduction, you'll recall that this all began when we started getting complaints from the Riverside neighborhood back in October of 2025. So we brought forth in November to the Public Facilities or Public Safety Committee a proposed ordinance based upon the ordinance passed and adopted in Charleston in 2025. There was a recent adoption up there. It went to council for the first reading, and then as the chair stated at the second reading in the public hearing, you heard a lot of different comments. And at that meeting, I believe it was Vice Chair Tabernick announced that she had arranged for a meeting to take place in which Councilman Bartholomew, the chair, the vice chair, myself, the county administrator, and I believe the assistant county administrator, and Solicitor Stone, Sheriff Tanner, Department of Natural Resources, Port Royal Police Chief Myers were in attendance, and we all discussed the proposed ordinance. There were many views at that meeting that were expressed. It was a very productive meeting, but the gist of what I recall and took away from that meeting was that the sheriff and I believe the solicitor were more in favor of an ordinance or a state law that would adopt it, obviously. But if we're going to have an ordinance, to make it a civil ordinance by, say, criminal ordinance, and perhaps even consider making a public nuisance as a violation, and to make it to where it's enforced civilly. Now, we've had further discussions with Mr. Atkinson, who wasn't able to be at that meeting, and the reason a discussion with him is important is because our code enforcement officers work under his direction, so he supervises the county code enforcement officers. And Sheriff Tanner did announce that he would respond to calls at night or on the weekend if there was a complaint, and then he would have the deputy create a report. Then he would turn that over to code enforcement for investigation. But calls that came in during the day, they would expect that probably code enforcement would respond. Well, the county has concerns about sending code enforcement officers who are not armed out to respond to a discharge of weapons property to investigate that. So there was great concern on his part on behalf of his code enforcement officers. And of course, you have the same concerns from the administrator and the county attorney as far as putting our county employees in danger. But again, Sheriff Tanner did say that if we ever felt a dangerous situation and we needed assistance, we could always call for Beaufort County Sheriff's Office to accompany us to a scene to respond if necessary. So the question for this committee is whether or not to proceed with the second reading of the ordinance as before you that you voted on at the first meeting, or whether to consider amending it here tonight, or to remand it back to the Public Safety Committee for further discussion and exploring whether to compare and contrast, give the pros and cons, and then make a recommendation to council as far as proceeding with a criminal ordinance or with a civil ordinance or a disturbing the peace type ordinance, if you will, for the gun discharge ordinance. So I throw that out, and of course, as I said, Vice Chair Tabernick, Chair Howard, and Councilman Bartholomew attended the meeting, and they may have independent thoughts as far as their recollection and comments that they want to make at the meeting here as well.
Thank you. Excellent summary. I'll open it up for comments.
Chair, if I may,
Discussion. Yes.
I concur with you. It was a great meeting. A lot of good thoughts were shared, and it was very productive. My biggest takeaway was that we send it back to committee and work on it further. I agree with you that the sheriff and the solicitor both agreed that potentially taking away the criminal side of it would make it easier for prosecution in the magistrate court. And I tell you, I don't know if anybody else would chime in on this, but at this point in time, I would make a motion to remand this back to the Community Services Committee in order to have further revisions and work done on the ordinance.
I can second
I
that.
would second that
Gina,
motion.
Okay, I heard Councilman Reitz first. All right, so now we're discussing sending it back.
Okay,
That
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
So I thought our meeting with the sheriff and the solicitor, there were also DNR people there and the chief from Port Royal, as well as our administrative crew. I thought it went really well, as Mr. Hulbert said. I believe, as David said, this needs to be remanded back to committee. I think we're getting closer, but it needs to be civil penalty, not criminal. And so I believe there's some more work to be done. So appreciate the summary.
Anyone have any comments? No? So we have a motion and a second to remand it back. No further discussion. All in favor of that amendment? All right. And that,
What day is that going to be?
Well, we would need time to work on drafting an ordinance, so it may not be ready for the April meeting, but it'll either be April or May that we go to that meeting.
And for April? We're only talking a couple
It's
weeks.
the first
I'm
Monday
working
in
on it
April.
too.
Okay,
It-
good.
it's take-
Let's
I've-
try it,
yeah.
because I know my constituents they'd
Yes.
like to see April.
It's only because the Community Services Public Safety Committee is the first Monday in April, which is like, well, but you got to get it to the agenda and then review and through that process and everything. So it'd have to be done by next week, early next week.
Okay, so that motion carried, so it will be remanded back to your committee.
We'll make
Thank-
every effort to try to get to April, but it may be May is all I'm saying. I can't guarantee it.
Thank you. It was an excellent meeting. All right, so we are now on number 14A. It's 2026-08, an ordinance to amend ordinance 2023-26 to reallocate funds previously appropriated for the Defusky Island Ferry embarkation points to the Sun City Joint Fire/EMS Station, station number 39. The vote at the Finance Committee was on March 16th, 8-0. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, and a second by Mr. Cunningham. Any discussion?
Long overdue.
Okay, all in, oh,
Yeah,
yes, Councilman
Alice?
Lawson, yes, sir.
No, if I could, I just want to say, everyone looks at this like, oh, we're defunding the ferry. We are not. We've been able to find money to all the things that we need from Melrose and then the upgrades that have happened. And this council has been very, very good about supporting the Fusky Island Ferry and making sure we had money. And I know this is something that Ms. Tabernack, who has been very, very good at supporting the Fusky Island Ferry, that we need this money for the fire station. It's in her district. Again, that's why I'm all for this, even though people have asked me, well, you represent the Fusky, how could you let money, go away like this? But again, the money has been there. It is there. This was money set aside, I think, in 2023. We're able to find other funding to do what we needed to do at those landings. So again, whenever things come back up and we do need more money, whether it's for Pinckney or whether it's for the move, whenever things happen, when the bridge is redone and having to move to Jenkins, that this council will be in full support. So again, I'm supporting the rest of the council that has supported Defusky, and again, Ms. Tabernack and her district with this fire station.
Get both things accomplished this way, yes, okay. All in favor by show of hands? And that is unanimous, thank you. All right, next is B, an ordinance to reallocate the funds from the 2025 series GEO bonds for passive parks projects. There's no physical impact. The same dollar amount is going to 2 projects to 4 projects in the amount of $5,940,912. And this is Ms. Harriet and
Madam Chairman.
Second.
I'll
all right,
second.
we had, and the second by Councilman Glover, and made the motion. Any discussion or questions? None?
I got one. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sorry,
Okay.
Ms. Howard. No, I just want, because obviously some of this money is coming from Bailey's Park, which is down at the Alljoy area, and which is, again, behind these other projects. So I see Ms. Stephanie sitting there. So again, just want to reassure people that when Bailey's Park, their time comes, which will be after these 4, that we will have funding for Bailey's Park. And again, this is just moving money to where we can get things done immediately, as Bailey's Park is still, under the design, and then also will be under the RFP.
Would you like to speak to that, Ms. Stephanie?
Yes, I'm happy to clarify. These 4 projects are actually running on a concurrent status. So it's not that one is going to get done and then the other and then the other. They're all 4 moving forward at the same time. So what we're doing is just trying to do more projects with the money that's available, and the engineer's estimates that I have for these projects are being funded from this, as well as a couple other sources that are going through our normal fiscal year 27 budget process.
Thank you. All in favor by show of hands? And that is unanimous. Thank you. All right, we are on number 15, resolutions 2026-09, a resolution authorizing acceptance of adjusted compensation plan for public safety pay bands 400 through 414. That is at the detention center. Do I have a motion to pass this?
So move.
All right. We have a second?
I'll second it.
and a second by Councilman Bartholomew. Any discussion? No one has any questions about it? We've talked about this. All right, all in favor by show of hands? In favor? And that is unanimous. All right. 15B is a resolution 2026-10. It ratifies the findings and recommendations of the supplemental compensation and classification study for an elected office as part of the Beaufort County Employee Classification and Compensation Plan. This item is being brought due to time factor directly straight to council. I entertain a motion to approve the resolution 2026/10.
I'll second it, Mayor.
All right, Councilman Passament and Councilman Glover second it. Any discussion? Yes, sir?
You said it bypassed committee and came straight here due to time constraints, but it looks like the letter was dated November 2025 for the completion of that study.
I'll let Ms. Mead address that.
Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know why it's coming forward now. Have we been acting upon this already?
So this is just a cleanup housekeeping item. In hindsight, it should have come to council. We got it from the elected's office December 16th. We implemented, retroed it back to the effective date that was requested. It should have come to council to fully adopt the pay bands into the pay scale.
So the employees were the impact, the increase, it was applied starting in January then?
The salaries were increased, yes.
Okay, does that answer? Okay. All right, any other questions?
Just one?
Yes, sir.
I have a question, just a pending matter. Do we have any information, Mr. Moore, Mr. Holbert, on the hate intimidation bill, on the status of when we'll be seeing something?
Let's wait till we vote on this.
Oh, sorry, I thought
Okay.
you asked if there were any questions. I didn't
About
realize it
this,
was
just about
that.
this.
I apologize.
I have one, Chair.
Yes, concerning this item.
I believe this is, and somebody, maybe Catherine, can get me up to speed. We've had a number of discussions about the elected officials. Are all of them included in this treasurer's office? Did we get all the buy-in? Are we working on any of that, or is there anything still outstanding with that?
Buy into what? Are they included in our comp and class study?
Right.
All except the magistrate and sheriff's office.
Just want to make sure we had good discussions.
Okay, all right, so any other questions?
Just for my clarification, when we did our compensation plan, the same company is doing the treasurers as well, right? If I understood it right, they did not cooperate when the study was done. Now they want to be a part of it, right? Don't answer the question.
Fine.
You're fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
That was part of my question, though, before. Are we all on the same page? Are we all working together? Why can't we hear about this?
Oh, we can.
Initially, they didn't want to participate in the comp and class study when we put it out for all the county employees. But afterwards, we had a ruling in the case that's pending, and then subsequently, the treasurer's office agreed to participate. So she went out and used our same vendor, and they conducted the study of the treasurer office's employees, and that was incorporated, and that's what's being added to the comp and class study that you adopted that was previously done, to where it's all one study now is what's going on. So it's a supplement to that. It's kind of like an addendum to a contract.
Is that good?
That's good for me.
Okay, all right. All in favor by show of hands? And that's unanimous. Councilman Lawson, Councilman Tabernick, yes, okay. Now, we are through with our business for the day, but I think one of our council members has a question.
Yes, to answer your question, Councilman McKellen, we have drafted a proposed resolution and ordinance the ordinance is based upon Richland County and Orangeburg County, and the resolution is based upon Charleston County's resolution that they passed, and they're both on the agenda for the Community Services Public Safety Committee, the first Monday in April.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And we've done the green space proposed amendments, and that's on the Natural Resources Committee for the same day.
Thank you very much.
That's for the procedure.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thanks,
do we
Brian.
have any further questions for administration before we adjourn? All right, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
All right. Well, Joe, is it timely this time? 8 o'clock?